All right, girl, let's do a mini training. I am so excited to talk about this because it has been a topic of discussion this week. I've been chatting with so many women in the DMs this week and hearing this on discovery calls as well. Basically, Lil Birdie told me that your food logs are a hot mess express. Okay, so the common denominators that I'm seeing, there's a few common issues or trends that I'm seeing when it comes to tracking. Number one, you're not tracking your food at all, okay? Or maybe you go like months without tracking your food. You are being very particular. You're not tracking everything that you're eating. So you'll track like the healthy stuff, but you're not gonna track the wine or the chips or the cookies that you eat. Maybe you're just inconsistent with your food log and you're tracking throughout the week. So you'll track for like a day or two and then you just like don't the rest of the week, or you're just kind of like loosely tracking in general. Now, you guys know that I am a strong believer in food tracking. It's a requirement for all of my clients. If you're gonna work with me in any capacity, whether BBB or one-on-one coaching, you have to track your food, whether through calories or macros. It's not a life sentence. Obviously, I teach you how to like get off of tracking and how to transition into intuitive eating, but for fat loss purposes, you need to be tracking your food, okay? And you need to be consistent with it. So the reason why I believe in tracking so much is because there's so much that you can learn about your body, about your metabolism, and your eating habits through tracking. A lot of women really have no idea how much they're eating on a day-to-day basis, or they're just significantly underestimating it. They think that they're eating a lot less than they really are, and that is an issue because if you think that you are eating in a calorie deficit, or you think that you are eating the right amount of calories to lose weight, but then you are not losing weight, there is an issue here, right? It's either the quality, quantity of your food, there's an issue, and you need to be able to reference your food logs. If you are hitting a plateau, you need to be able to look at all your data, your weigh-ins, your measurements, your food logs, your workout consistency. Like, we need all this data. So this is why I believe it's very important. And also, again, you learn so much about your eating habits through tracking. You will pick up on your eating habits. So maybe being hungrier certain times of the day, maybe having more cravings at certain times of the day. You'll pick up on any emotional eating or binge eating. And you'll also learn which foods make you feel really, really good and foods that maybe make you feel a little sleepy or a little tired or a little sluggish. Again, there really is so many benefits to tracking your food. It's not just about calories in, calories out, being in a calorie deficit, but that's the other issue. Whether you're tracking or not tracking at all, or if you're loosely tracking, you don't have the data to know if you are in a calorie deficit or not. You don't know if you're eating in a deficit, if you're eating in a surplus, if you're eating on a maintenance, babe. Like, you have no idea what's going on. How long have you been eating those amount of calories for? Have you been eating those amount of calories for 6 weeks or 6 months, right? This is why so many women come to me and they're like, Ashley, I am at a loss. Like, I am eating so clean. I'm doing all the things. Like, I don't know why I'm not losing weight. Like, I'm stuck. I've been stuck for months. Like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, okay, tell me about your nutrition on a day-to-day basis. Like, what's it look like? And they're like, oh, like they tell me like what they're eating. Like, I eat so clean. Like, I could be better about maybe the weekends or my little desserts at night, but like typically I eat really clean. So that's why I'm very confused. And I'm like, girl, give me a number. I need a number. How many calories are you eating? And they're like, I don't know. I haven't tracked in like 3 months. And I'm like, perfect, great. Okay, so again, this is so important for fat loss. And if this sounds like you, don't worry, boo. I'm gonna call you out, but I'm also gonna help you out. I'm going to give you 5 steps to accurately tracking your food so that you can start losing weight, you can tone up, and feel really confident about your nutrition choices. I know when it comes to really any health and fitness goal, nutrition can be very confusing. There's a lot of information out there online, and it's very easy to feel overwhelmed and just unsure, like very confused. Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I eating the right foods? Like, it can be very confusing. So I want you to feel, yes, I want you to get results, but I also want you to feel very in control and very confident navigating your nutrition, no matter what's going on in your life. If it's just like normal weekday. Okay, step number 1 is to set a clear fitness goal. In order to determine like how many calories you need to know what is your main fitness goal right now. So is your main goal fat loss? Do you want to lose 10, 20, 30 pounds? Or do you want to, tone up? Is your main goal, do you want to maintain your weight right now and tone up? Do you want to gain some weight? You need to determine what is your main goal, okay? From that point, you need to use an online calorie calculator. I do have a free one on my website you can use. I'll link it right here for you. Once you have your caloric needs, you're gonna take that number and you're gonna plug it into whatever food tracking app you use. Personally, I enjoy MyFitnessPal. I know there's a lot of new apps out there. By all means, use whatever you want. That's just what I personally use and love and recommend. So plug that calorie number into whatever app you're using. And then once you have your caloric needs, you're gonna take that number and you're gonna plug it into whatever food tracking app you use. Personally, I enjoy MyFitnessPal. I know there's a lot of new apps out there. By all means, use whatever you want. That's just what I personally use and love and recommend. So plug that calorie number into whatever app you're using. And then obviously you can use this number to help you plan out your meals and snacks to ensure that you are hitting the right caloric goal in order to achieve your fitness goal. Okay, the second step is to measure your food. Oh my God, you will not believe how many women tell me that they do not track their food or like do not measure their food at all with a food scale or even measuring cups. Like, how are you tracking your food if you're not measuring it? Are you just guessing? Like, so many people they have a very flawed perception of food. They do not have an accurate representation of portions. They do not know what a cup of rice looks like. They do not know what 5 ounces of protein looks like. They do not know what 2 ounces of pasta looks like, okay? Like, you need to have a clear understanding of portions. This is a very, very, very important skill to learn so that you do not overeat, but also so that you can go out to eat and vacation and things like that and build your plate without having a food scale. So if you want to learn how to intuitively eat, you need to learn your portions. And so many women skip the tracking step and just think like, oh, like I know my portions, but you don't, because you're not eating the right amount of calories. And so your hunger cues are just totally off. You do not know what portions really look like. So just measure your food, okay? Point blank. So I will link my favorite food scale for you here. Use whatever food scale you have and start measuring your food. You will be shocked at how much food you can eat. I'm not kidding. It is going to be very eye-opening for you. You're going to realize like, whoa, like with the right calorie goal and measuring out my food, like whenever I teach my clients this, they're like, holy shit, like I would have never thought to eat this much, and I never would have been able to hit this calorie goal if I wasn't like tracking it, if I wasn't actually measuring everything out. I've gotten so many like messages from clients being like, oh my God, like I did not know that that's how many carbs was in like a potato, or like how many potatoes I need to eat, or like I would have never thought to eat this much, and I never would have been able to hit this calorie goal if I wasn't like tracking it, if I wasn't actually measuring everything out. I've gotten so many like messages from clients being like, oh my God, like I did not know that that's how many carbs was in like a potato, or like how many potatoes I need to eat, or like, oh my God, I need to eat more protein, right? Like I get that all the time. So again, it's very eye-opening. Trust me, you need to track your food. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is to be consistent. This is huge. It doesn't matter if you're tracking your food, if you're going on walks, if you're working out. If you're not being consistent, it does not matter. And consistency is king for fat loss, okay? So how do you expect to lose weight if your intake is like 1,000 calories one day, and then it's 2,000 calories the next, and then 1,400, and then 3,000, and then 1,700, right? Like you need to be consistent in order to see results. If you're like, Ashley, I can be consistent Monday through Thursday, but as soon as the weekend rolls around, like I'm out. I hear you. There's definitely a way to track on the weekends, and I teach my clients how to do this. The biggest thing is just accountability tracking, right? Like you'll see me post, my food logs on my stories or what I'm eating on the weekends, and you're like, how the hell, like, is she tracking that? I'm accountability tracking it, okay? So again, I teach my clients how to do it more accurately, but for now, if you struggle with consistency on the weekends, just track something, because you will never know what is 100% in that meal that you're getting at a restaurant, or takeout, or like on a holiday, right? Like you don't know what grandma put in her stuffing. Like you will never know what's in that soup or that chili. So guess as much as you can, track that and move on, okay? The biggest thing is that you're tracking something. Now, if you struggle to remember to track, this is a big thing that my clients always tell me. They're like, Ashley, I forgot to track my food, because I'm like, where are your food logs? And they're like, oh my God, I forgot. Then a really good tip that I suggest is to use the reminder app on your iPhone and set, not an alarm, but like a reminder. It's like more chill than an alarm, but you can set a reminder to remind you to track your food. So you can either do this at every single meal. So let's say if you're eating breakfast at 8 a.m., set a reminder at 8 a.m. to track your food. If you're eating lunch at 1 o'clock, set a reminder on your phone for 1 o'clock, reminder, track your food. Same as dinner. You could also set a reminder for the end of the day, and just like when you know that you're lounging, like you're done with all your errands and you're just sitting down like right before you go to bed or something, set an alarm or set a reminder, hey, track your food, so that you need a cue, right? If you are not in the habit of tracking your food on a day-to-day basis, then you need a cue that's like, hey, track your food, track your food, track your food. Did you track your food today? Hey, make sure you track your food today. And then it will become a habit. But the biggest thing, again, step number 3, be consistent, please. Okay, step number 4 is to analyze your habits. Again, tracking will teach you so much about your eating habits, and it's very important to look at this, because it's going to be good things and it's going to be not so good things. So if you find yourself feeling hungrier again at a certain time of the day, you may need a bigger meal. If you find yourself hesitant to track certain things like cookies or like dessert or wine or whatever, you may have an unhealthy relationship with food. If you are noticing cravings a certain time of the day more than others, you may need to increase your protein in that meal, whatever you had before, right? Do you snack a lot at night? Things like that, right? So if it can sabotage your results, you need to get to the bottom of it. You need to analyze that and work on it ASAP. Okay, step number 5 is to review and adjust, because now you've been tracking consistently, you've identified any issues or roadblocks, you've identified any eating patterns that you don't want, and you've really learned the foods that make you feel good, and you've learned the meals and the snacks that work to fit within your calorie budget. So now you can make adjustments to your plan, right? So maybe you found that you need to eat a little bit more protein, or maybe you need to drop your protein, or maybe you need to increase your calories, or maybe you're ready to drop them again. Regardless, you need to make the adjustment. That's where so many women get stuck in that plateau, or they just get stuck on the scale and they cannot lose any more weight. It's because they're not adjusting. And again, I totally get it. It can be a little overwhelming. It can be a little confusing. So if you feel like you need more support with this, if you feel like you need more accountability, DM me and I can help you with this. But yeah, the goal is for you to be consistent and to make a lifestyle change. I want you on this like cycle, in the cycle of like being on or off, or like tracking or not tracking, or like losing weight or just like not, you know what I mean? Like the goal is for you to live this healthy lifestyle, and it's just your lifestyle, and you don't have to think about this so much, and it doesn't consume your mind, like all your energy and like your thoughts all day. And not only are you getting results, but you can maintain those results, right? So these are the skills that you have to build. And again, tracking is one of them, and it gets so much easier. I promise you, like all my clients are like, oh my God, like, is this it? Like, okay, slay. So once you learn how to do all this, it's very, very easy. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today's mini training. I hope that you enjoyed it. My DMs are open. If you have any questions at all, feel free to pop me a DM. And if you want to learn more about working with me, whether through one-on-one coaching or BBB, just DM me the word info and we'll have a conversation and see if any of my programs would be a good fit for you. But yeah, I love you so much and I hope you have a great day.